Hi, and welcome to Alexander's Greek Kitchen. Today, we're going to make avgolemono. That is stuffed cabbage with meatballs. And it's going to be done with an avgolemono sauce, which is egg lemon sauce. So what I have here is half a pot of water boiling, and I've cut my cabbage in half. This is just your regular cabbage head, and I'm going to put them in there to blanch. But because it's a small head, I might not have enough to make all my meatballs, so I also have some leftover Napa cabbage that I have, and I'm going to stick that in here to blanch too. Once it's nice and blanched and softened up a little bit, then it'll be pliable and ready to use so I can roll my meatballs. What I have is about a pound of beef in a bowl, and then what I'm going to do is dice up some of these wonderful vegetables, which is some green onion. Get them nice and small so they can go in the meatballs. And add them to the meat. I got some jalapeno pepper, which I'm going to add them to. Making slivers first, and then dicing it. So everything is nice and small, so it doesn't overpower the meatball. That goes in here too. I have some garlic, peeled garlic, that I'm going to chop up too. Even though I like using my garlic sauce that I have over here, I also sometimes like using whole garlic because, man, it's so yummy when you bite into it. And it's good for you too. The more the garlic, the better. It like cleans out your blood. So I'm going to chop this up nice and fine. And then throw this in here with the meat. There we go. Nice. And I also have, because I didn't have too much green onion, I'm going to put a little bit of white onion. So we're going to put a little bit of that in here too. That'll also make nice and oniony. Boy, you will hardly taste it once it's in the meatballs. Turn that around. Chop, 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 chop. And then I'm used to using the thick cutting board, so using this little cutting board is kind of hard on me. But what can you say? You got to be versatile and be able to do everything everywhere, right? So here we got some onion too to add to the kitty. Beautiful. Yeah, I wouldn't have this problem spilling over on the other cutting board because it's huge. Alright. Now what's wonderful about this is that you can almost add any kind of hard vegetable that you really want to. Here I have a mixture of cilantro and sweet basil, which I'm going to chop up too. And put that in because I love cilantro and I love sweet basil. It always gives meat a very good taste. Yeah, there we go. Nice and chopped up. Beautiful. Look at that. Almost a full cup. Yes, sir. Nice. Very nice. I'm going to also put this last half of the jalapeno pepper in there. If you don't have jalapenos, you can put bell pepper, you can put red bell pepper, you can put any kind of pepper just to have the taste. Here we go. Nice and prepped. Look at that. Beautiful. Wow. Now, this is what it looks like. I'm going to add a cup of rice. You can put any kind of rice you want. I have Uncle Ben's converted. Some olive oil. That's to get it so it gets molded together nice. A little bit of teriyaki sauce. I do that anyways with my meat because I love the taste so much. And here's that garlic sauce that I was telling you about. I'm going to put 2 spoonfuls. Then I take my hand and I mix this and mix it until it all gels together and becomes combined. If I was making keftedes, I would be putting some bread and some egg, but this dish does not call for that because you're not doing that kind of a meat ball. So I'm going to get this all nice and mixed, and then when my cabbage gets nice and soft, we are going to start making the meatballs that are going to go wrapped in the cabbage. There we go, beautiful. This is almost done and ready. All I got to do is get it formed. I'm going to start making my meatballs to go in the pot. So, like I said, I'm checking my consistency of my cabbage. If it gets nice and soft and I can work with it, it's ready to go. Giving it a little bit more time here. And getting ready for the show. All right, I think I'm going to remove my cabbage now. Putting the cabbage in a bowl. And I leave it on low because you want to keep that hot and running. What I do in here now is I take one chicken bouillon cube and throw it in the water. This is again for flavor and taste. And I also so happen to have chicken broth, which I was making something with chicken the other day. And I'm going to pour some of that in here a little bit too. So you can do a combination of the two, or you can just throw 2 chicken bouillon cubes. It all depends on how you want to do things. Mix this up. A little bit of olive oil, not much, just a little drizzle here to keep the water nice and pliable. And now we're taking your cabbage that's right here, and we're taking leaves. We put it on the cutting board. You take some meat, roll it in a ball, and then you roll them up in the cabbage, and then you place them in the water. And this is how you make the cabbage balls. Take some meat, roll it up in a ball, put it in the cabbage, and you roll it. Here's one with the Napa cabbage. Same thing. Take some meat, put it there, roll it up. There's your cabbage meatball. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So, once I get all my meatballs in the pot, I'm going to let it simmer boil for roughly about an hour. And then I'm going to come back and show you how to make the avgolemono sauce that tops this dish and puts you at the dinner table with this wonderful, wonderful meal. The meat will cook inside the cabbage, and it's going to be heaven when you serve this with the avgolemono sauce, the egg lemon sauce. And of course you all know I'm going to use my Meyer lemons, and I'm going to beat at least 8 eggs for a pot this size. So when I come back, I'm going to have this all finished up, doing more of my meatballs in my cabbage, and this will have boiled for 1 hour, and we'll be ready to do the avgolemono sauce and complete this meal. Welcome you back to Alexander's Greek Kitchen. What we've done is we've covered the stuffed cabbage meatballs with water and have them come to a simmer boil for the last hour. I have prepared 8 egg whites that I have meringued, as you can see. Very nice and fluffy-like. I've done it by hand with a whisk because that's the best way. It turns out nice and thick. I've squeezed 1 cup of lemon juice out of my beautiful Meyer lemons. I am now almost ready to add the egg yolks to my egg whites, and I will do that right now. I just pour them in, and then I whisk those into making a nice creamy egg yolk and egg white mixture. Oh boy, look at the color. Isn't that gorgeous? and you just mix this all together. This is making your avgolemono sauce, the sauce that's going to go over the entire dish. And the secret to making avgolemono is to take your time and do it right. Now, I'm going to lower the food to a simmer, because you don't need it cooking anymore, but you do want to keep it warm. I'm going to take a few of the meatballs and move them over so I can get my ladle in there. So I'm going to just take them and kind of stack them on top of the other side here. I need to get my ladle in here so I can get all this juice out. Okay. So, this is how you make avgolemono sauce. By continuously mixing my egg mixture, I am going to take and pour, get this nice and close, non-stop mixing the egg mixture, pour my broth into it slowly, and keep a steady beat on my avgolemono, on my eggs. And then what I can do is after I put like 2 or 3 of the broth in here, because I only have one hand and I don't have a chef's assistant, I'm going to pour a little lemon juice in. Not too much, because you don't want to cut the egg. Cutting the egg means the lemon will separate the egg. So you got to do this in a very passive, slow, and secure way. I'm sorry for talking slow, but I want to stress that you take your time adding the lemon juice. A little bit of lemon juice, more broth. Adding more lemon juice, adding more broth. Oh God, the smell in here is just absolutely incredible. I am still stirring. I haven't stopped stirring. A bit more broth, and a little bit more broth, and a little bit more broth. Now comes the tricky part. This is all nice and mixed in. You make sure that you get all the corners mixed into your broth and your juice. Your avgolemono is almost ready. Then you take this, you put your cabbage back to where it was, your little meatballs, and you take this mixture, watch carefully, and you pour it slowly all into the pot. Shake it a little bit. Oh, this is absolutely madness. Look at this. God, folks, look at this. This is the most wonderful, delectable, light, and delicious meal you've ever found. There she is. She is ready to go. I'm mixing this in a little bit. Here comes the best part. The very best part. Go down, dig yourself up the meatball, you put it in the plate. Go down here, dig yourself up the meatball, with some cabbage, put it in the plate. You take some of this wonderful cream sauce on top. That's your avgolemono. Salt, a little pepper, garnish, and there she is. All I can say is Stin and Kali Oreksi.